Well, hello, welcome back to my garage. Today I want to discuss this. This is the Meguiar Scratch X 2.0. Sounds rather sophisticated, doesn't it? 2.0? I don't know if they had a 1.0 or even if they're going to make a 3.0. But it matters not. You know why? Because this is what I often refer to as my first responder. Now there's many versions of this on the market. You have many choices. And if you check the link below, it will take you to my website where I go into greater detail, yes, pun intended, as to how to use this, what it's capable of, what it's not capable of. It, in essence, will help you manage your expectations. Because while this is labeled as a scratch remover, I think it's useful in other purposes, which is what I will call abrasion remover or scuff remover. Now, what I want to illustrate today specifically is on a car. There's certain areas on the car that will get more wear and tear than other areas. This is where this becomes the first responder, and I want to illustrate some very specific points on your car. So with that said, let's get started. First point of contact is in no special order. This is the threshold plate area of the white Mercedes. Now tell me this, is that not horrid or what? That is completely unacceptable, but it's very common. We all know how those get there. It's called dragging your feet and scratching and scuffing that threshold plate. So what do we do about it? That is where the Meguiar Scratch X 2.0 comes in. Now, first rule is I always use a microfiber cloth. Why? Because they are the softest, most friendliest cloth to your paint specifically. And this is paint. This is metal, this is fabric. What we're dealing with is any hard surface. So you may have some transfer on the metal plate. We certainly have it on the white threshold plate. So this is ideal for that. You just take a little dollop and you rub as aggressive as you need in order to remove those. Let's come in for a closer shot and you can watch me while I do it. My microfiber, a little dollop like that. Good to go. Now, if you're a complete beginner, you will likely be in freak out mode because like, oh my gosh, my car, I'm afraid, it's got abrasives in it. I don't actually know how aggressive these braces are or aren't. Matters not. So here you just attack it and you identify the areas that need attacking. Flip the cloth over, polish it. Look how wonderful that looks. Now, in the event that you have seen some of my other videos or on my other channel, I often talk about the wonderful tool called the Magic Eraser. Now, you can get these in generic form. I buy these in the bulk. I buy them 50 to the case because I go through so many of them. This is what they look like brand new. This is what they look like after they've been slightly used. So what I want to illustrate is the difference between these, or as in this, and this. Because I could remove a lot of skid marks, transfer, scuffs, abrasions by using this. And what this is going to really do is clean the dirt and any transfer that may have happened. But here's the difference. This will remove it, but it will also abrade the surface. It will put in what you might call micro marring. Well, at least that's what we call it in the professional world of detailing. It's just a glorified term for abrasions. So this is very effective, but you need to understand its limitations, and everything has its trade-offs. Everything in life has its pros and cons. So this is effective, but it's also effective at abrading the surface. What that means to you, if you use it enough, as in hard enough, long enough, it will abrade any surface. Over the years, I have literally abraded the chrome off of some of my fixtures inside the house. So trust me when I say it will do that. But once again, you remain in control. If you want the simplest solution, you could reach for a magic eraser. But there lies the difference. This removes, but it also polishes. It enhances it while it removes that unwanted scuff or abrasion. So this is why I would default to this as the more winninger balance. I know that's not a word, but it's a more winning balance than this, because this will polish, as in enhance the shine and gloss, while simultaneously removing the unwanted scuffs and abrasions, skid marks, transfer, call it whatever you want. Therefore, I'm going to default to this. Let's move on. And as I said, in no necessary order, area number 2, called the door handles. These are notorious for collecting dirt and abrasions as people, well, wait for it, open and close the doors. Most people only use these to open the door, and then they use the edge of the door itself to close the door, which is a big faux pas in my world. Let me zoom in and see if I can show you all the skid marks on this particular door handle. There are many, they are numerous, and they are all created uniquely. So we've got a whole plethora inside the door handle itself, on the exterior, up above here. It's just a big fat mess. Let me pull out a little bit. Now you do not want to do this on dirty paint. So this car is essentially clean, but clean is a big generalization, is it not? Because if it was really clean, none of this would be there, correct? So we want to remove that. What I don't want to do is use the Scratch X on dirty paint. What I want to do is wipe the surface clean so that the superficial dirt has been removed. Now I can attack it with the Scratch X and really clean this up. Now, once again, you might think this is trivial, but I guarantee you, once again, life really is all about the details. So when you have enough bad details going on in your life or on your car, they collect. You may not be fully aware of the individual details like this and the scuff marks on your door handles, but when you combine that with scuff marks on all the various areas of your car, maybe you've got some yellowing headlights, maybe you've got some chips that could be fixed. When you start adding up all those details, it just greatly diminishes the overall appearance of your car. So I am a big fan of just taking care of the little details. This is a very simple approach to clean up your car, spruce it up, and that was pretty painless, I think, correct? And now we just went from a level 4 to like a level 9. It's not perfect, but I would have to scrutinize it with a magnifying glass to determine that. But here, look how great that looks. Let me pull back so you can get a little different perspective. And we have success, which then leads us to area number 3. And here we have the back bumper. Let's go in and scrutinize this, shall we? A couple of things I want to illustrate is the different parts of the bumper. Here we have the bumper itself. Here we have the deck lid. That is the trunk. If we're under British rule, you call it the boot. So let me illustrate the different points. Here on the bumper, that's going to get scuff and skid marks because people lean up against it with their leg, they drag it across, they reach into their boot or their trunk to pull things in and out. Things get dragged across the bumper. So this place is notorious for collecting its unfair share of skid marks and abrasions. Now the other place I want to illustrate is this area here, because this car in particular has a trunk release that's manual here, or it's got a key fob. So somehow you're going to open up the trunk. That's not the problem. The problem comes when people close the trunk because they'll grab some part of the painted area and they'll use it with their fingers. Every time they touch that with their fingers, you have the chance to create some scratches, abrasions, some skid marks. So there's a lot going on here, but fear not, because that is where the Meguiar Scratch X 2.0 can come in. V.I.P.N. Once again, I do not want to work on a dirty bumper, and I know dirty is, once again, a very ambiguous term. So you want to clean the superficial dirt off first before you come in with the Scratch X. I'll zoom in and show you some of these bad skid marks. I've got my microfiber cloth. I've got my Scratch X 2.0. A little dollop is all required. You come in, go back and forth. Now I know if you are a fan of YouTube and you have watched the endless detailing videos, there's this misnomer that says never go in a circular pattern. I could debate that all day long. Point is you figured out. I am under the, well, and really I'm just speaking from experience. The only time you're going to create a circular pattern is if there's hardcore abrasives in this. So I guess the simple answer is just do what makes sense in your world. If you find that you have chosen another product, not the Meguiar Scratch X, and you do have an unwanted effect in your paint, just use that same product to finesse it. Sometimes you need to go in heavier, sometimes lighter. So once again, every skid mark, every scratch is unique. None of them are created equally. So you will have to finesse the moment. But you really don't have to overthink this type of stuff. It's really very straightforward. I'm going to get a little bit more and I'm going to finish cleaning up these areas that have the unwanted skid marks, abrasions. And I just literally break it down section by section. Go in, flip the cloth over, buff off the residue. Looks pretty good. I'm scrutinizing it. I'm looking here, there, anywhere. Everything looks good. I'm good to go. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, Scratch X 2.0 by Meguiars, my first responder. Now I've illustrated 3 specific points on your car that this product will help you get better results in your life. The results are just an overall greater appearance to your car. All the little details. And I hope you've learned something today. And if you have learned just one thing today, hover your mouse over and give it a thumbs up. I thank you in advance. Don't forget to check the links below. With that said, stay tuned until the next video, and we'll see you then.